It says there are 3 people here waiting for this. You guys are insane. Don't wait for this. Is this backwards for you? Is my camera just being stupid from now until forever? Because to me, this image is reversed. So hopefully you guys can see everything the normal way that you normally see things. I don't know anymore. With this camera. It's the same camera, by the way. I should have bought a new one, but apparently this thing works when it wants to. It's just like me. Okay, this is my stack. This is Wednesday. Yeah, all 3 of you guys left. That makes sense. If you've never been here before, this is what I do most Wednesdays. I go through my stack of weekly comics from the comic shop. So yeah, this was a big week for me. I feel like I say that every single week, but this was a bad one. I'm learning that the last week of the month is apparently when all of my comics come out on the same day. I mean, I get stuff every single week, but the last 2 months now, the final Wednesday of the month has been particularly rough. That being said, I did my best. I tried to read some of these. I read a handful. I read like 4 or 5 of these books, honestly, and I gotta stop doing it. I read my stuff early. I get my books Tuesday night, the day before they go on sale, so I can talk about them at the register on Wednesdays when at the local comic shop I work at. But I forget everything I read. I've read a few of these books last night, but I don't remember a whole lot of them at all. So we'll see how well my memory can kind of hold up. Maybe once the spotlight's on me and I pull that book out of the stack, maybe then it'll spark something. But yeah, as always, this is my stack. I'm going to put this pile face down on the table and go through them one by one with you guys and let you know what I think about everything on my pull list. I would say spoilers, but you're not going to get spoiled. Probably. Hey, Daymers and Fuchsia, hello to both of you. 2 people I don't normally see in here, so thank you for hanging out. For the record, these streams usually take about an hour. Oh, okay. One of the books I did read, this is variants number 1, or the variants number 1. I forgot. This was one of the books I was thinking of. Like, I wish I could remember exactly how I felt about this. I get more of a vibe. The main thing that comes to mind from this book is that it was a lot more low key than I was prepared for. Maybe I'm totally wrong because I'm struggling to. It's like you guys ever? Maybe this is just me, but when you're at a party, do you ever get like super wasted and then tell yourself you're going to read some comic books and then try and remember the things you read the next day? That was a big chunk of my college experience, and I'd never remembered what the hell I read. That's kind of how I feel about this stuff from that I did read last night. But this was a fun little book. I think this is just a 5-issue miniseries. It's done by Gail Simone, writes this story, and Phil Noto does the interiors, which is fun. Phil Noto is a cool dude. Normally only used to seeing him do covers, but he's done a few interiors that I've read. This one wasn't bad. I was pleasantly surprised with this book. Thankfully, when issue 2 comes out, like I always do, I will be reading issue 1 again and then jumping straight into number 2. So I should hopefully remember it a little bit more at that point. Anyway, next book. Venom! All right. Out of all of this, I did not shuffle very well because out of this enormous stack, the first 2 I'm talking about, I have already read. Thankfully, this one is not jumping out at me either. Although, let me just show this cover because that's the best part. I got this. I've been getting the variants for this whole run, and yeah, this Kyle Hotz. It's like the man was born to draw symbiote stuff, and this Kyle Hotz cover is gnarly. Although, watch me be totally wrong. No, of course that's Kyle. I was nervous that I was saying it wrong, but obviously it's Kyle Hotz. Great art. Great cover art. But then you open the book and you get thrown into some wacky 90s goofiness. That's fun. It's fun. Whoops. It's fun for a 5-issue little miniseries, and that's all this is. It's not, I don't know what I wanted. I'm just not the target market for this kind of stuff. And I need to be more selective in the future moving forward if Marvel continues down this path. And it looks like they are. I have another one in here too. They did the Silver Surfer Rebirth and Venom Lethal Protector. I jumped on both of those little runs because they're two characters, two creative teams that I like. And I didn't realize going in that they would just be basically out of continuity 90s era, like throwback, useless kind of stories. So I don't know. I don't know how I'll determine whether or not that matters going forward, but I've been burned a few too many times lately on stuff that just I don't care about. And Venom Lethal Protector is a solid example of that. Hi. Hi. I don't have patience for you right now, kitty. Batman Catwoman. All right, this is finally done, which means I can pull it out of my short boxes over here and start reading it. I have started reading this story like 5 times, honestly. Like I've read the first issue of this book. I can't even tell you how many times. I need to restart again, but I'm gonna set all 12 issues aside and actually binge read that book here pretty soon. I should have done it before now, leading into this final issue, because I don't know when I'll have the time to actually bust all 12 of those out and read it. I hope it's good, but I don't know why I would doubt it's good. The first few issues that I have read, I liked. It's just the inconsistent release schedule made this book impossible to keep up with as it was coming out. So, Batman Catwoman, I'm sure it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to finish as well as it started. I'm sure it'll make a much better 12-issue hardcover now that it's finished. Hopefully they do something like that and not just like 2 trades. I don't know. I don't feel like I've seen a Batman Catwoman Volume 1 trade out there. So I think they've been waiting and doing the whole thing all at once now that it's done. Thanks to a tight budget, it's cut down my pull, but that's all right. It makes me appreciate what I do get more. That's fair. I've been bandying about the idea. Yeah, I just used that phrase. Whatever. Moving past it. I've been tossing around the idea of doing a live stream. I think it would be a live stream. I might edit it. It would be very long, a very long video. A video where I do a tier list and just rank all of every book on my pull list and just rank them, because I don't know, this one by one thing that I do here every week is fine, and it's good for my thoughts. It helps me kind of mentally rank everything I'm getting and judge what I love and what I don't love. But I feel like some sort of overall all-inclusive list would help me look at everything in like a macro level, and then maybe the few titles that are way down there at the very bottom, maybe it might make it a little easier to finally cut the cord on those and get rid of them. It's been a couple months since I've had a pull list. Been doing more trades. Yeah, daymares. I would do something similar if I did not work at a shop. I tell myself I need to get a stack this big every single week, but I don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anything. I can't possibly talk about them all. I can hardly read them all every week. I've still got a little stack. No. I finished last week's stack. I've got a little stack of the week before that. I'm busy. I'm busy. I am drowning in comics over here on this table, and you guys are lucky that you can only see a very small sliver of the bookshelf behind me, and not this table here, which is a mess. Next up, this is Naughty List number 3. I don't know how long this book is going to go for, but Comic Tom and I recently talked about this on our live show. This is a fun little Santa Claus gritty origin story that I've been having fun with. I feel like I'm the only one reading this book, but that's okay. It's weird. It's weird, but for somebody like you, Daymares, this will make a fun little, quick little trade read when it's all done. It is a serious, dark, gritty look at Santa. Can't show that page. I don't know. It's definitely not what I expected. I don't know what the hell this is gonna, benefit anybody, but it's a book about. I guess Tom and I talked about it pretty thoroughly on our channel, and it's been so long that I'm starting to forget, obviously, because that's how I do. It's about a guy who wants to just help kids, and he sees all this suffering happening, and he wishes upon a star that he could do something to alleviate people's suffering. And apparently, he wished on the wrong star because the star he did was a magical star that kind of just cursed him with Santa stuff. It's a whole thing. It's a long story, and you got to read it. You don't have to read it, but it's fun. I'm pleasantly surprised with this risk I took. I don't know any of these creators on Naughty List. This is Nick Santora and Lee Ferguson. Not familiar with that writer and artist combo, but it's a fun surprise. A lot of times I take a complete shot in the dark gamble like that and am let down. So I'm glad that Naughty List worked out okay. Single dad, 3 kids. Time is the most important thing. That's true. And I have 15 short boxes I need to get rid of. I know that struggle. My whole collection is 16? Although I have to count more because there's like 2 full short boxes in here that are just constantly in my bedroom and not with the rest of my books out in the living room. Realistically, I probably have, at this point, probably 18, 19 short boxes. Whatever. Who cares? You don't need to know that. I have an unending supply of comics. What is this? Batman Fortress, number 2. Have not read it yet, but I quite liked number 1. I filmed my top 5 comics video for the month of May. I have filmed it. It is sitting here on my computer. I just need to edit it. It's going to take a while. But a little tip for you guys who take the time to actually watch this video. Batman Fortress number 1, the previous issue of this book, made my list. It was one of my favorite books of the month of May. So I'm looking forward to Batman Fortress number 2 quite a bit. Sounds like something I would love Murder Hobo. Okay. A Murder Hobo fan. There's more than one of us. Yeah, it's not as like wacky as Murder Hobo is. Naughty List is definitely, it feels more like a Jason Statham Christmas movie. I don't know if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does, because that's what I'm going with. I wish I had thought of that before we did our Keanu Reeves Christmas movie on our live show with Tom and me. I think Jason Statham as Santa Claus would be a much more accurate descriptor for that book. Shaylin, how are you? You got stuff to do. Don't be here. Thank you for the thumbnail that I'm currently using to death. I'm getting a lot of use out of that one thumbnail. 8 Billion Genies, number 2. This is the book, maybe the book in here I'm most excited to read. Big news with 8 Billion Genies. Today it was just announced that this was picked up for a movie by Amazon. I'm excited for that. I have good taste, apparently. Not good enough taste to subscribe to Amazon and watch this movie whenever it gets made, but it's a fun book. I quite liked it. I need to reread the first one. I don't know if I need to. I've read it recently because it may or may not have also ended up on my top 5 favorite books of May list. Moving on. DC versus Vampires Killers. One shot. I feel like I'm going to regret getting this. Like, this probably won't matter much to the overall DC Vampires storyline. I read the previous one was a Damian Wayne focused one shot in the DC versus Vampires story, and it was fine. It was good. I didn't hate it. I didn't have a bad time, but I don't think it was necessary. And I feel like I'm going to get the same vibe from this. However, I can say the overall DC versus Vampires storyline as a whole, pleasantly surprised with how much I don't hate that book. I did not think I would like it, but it's been fun. Here we go. This is Star Wars Crimson Reign, number 5 of 5. This book is finally done. This is a Star Wars crossover event that I don't know why I got this. I'm only reading one Star Wars title, Darth Vader, which is also in this pile somewhere. I'm only reading Darth Vader, so I don't know why I thought a Star Wars crossover event between like 6 titles I'm not reading would be smart. And this book has been coming out so infrequently that I don't remember what happened. I don't remember what happened, but I think that's also because I haven't been keeping up with this book. I have issues like 2, 3, and 4 in a whole different separate pile of comics on this table over there too. So apparently I got to binge read Star Wars Crimson Reign all at once, but I'm not looking forward to it. I have been in a little bit of a Star Wars mood though ever since Obi-Wan finished, so hopefully that can like jump charge me into enjoying Crimson Reign. Ooh, here we go. This is issue 4 of 5 for Hit Me from AWA, written by Krista Faust with art by Priscilla Petrates. It's been a fun book. I'll show it off, or I'll try to. It's a little spicy. I don't know if I can. What is this? Oh, yeah, that's very spicy. Make sure that's tilted this way. The lady in this book is basically she is a sex worker who gets a client in the top floor of a hotel room, but it turns out when she goes up there to do her business with this guy, there is another guy in the room, and she apparently has walked in on some sort of diamond deal gone wrong, and there's a shootout, and she's the only person left standing, and there's a bunch of diamonds on the floor. So she decides to grab the diamonds and scramble, and the entire comic is her trying to stay one step ahead of the shady characters who are trying to track down their stolen merchandise. And I don't know if I can. I might not be able to show you any part of this book. It's a little graphic. It's extremely sexual. There you go. There's a page. There's one page. It's a guy tied up to a chair while another guy smokes a cigar. Very, very shady looking. A lot of criminal dealings. Very much my speed. I enjoy Hit Me, but I also enjoy AWA very much. They're my favorite publisher. I'll say it every chance I get. My favorite publisher. No, there you go. So that was Hit Me number 4 out of 5. I didn't get any trades this week. It's kind of nice. I don't have any trades. I don't have any hardcovers. I don't have any big magazine size black label stuff. Just comics. I almost said just normal size comics, but one of these is really thick. Mindset number 1. This is from Vault. This was a cool book that I really wish I could remember. I definitely read this one last night, but I struggle to remember it. Which honestly, I'm kind of okay. I'm kind of okay with in this case because I really liked it. It's got really cool art. I do appreciate the art in here in sort of it's like a mix between David Mack and I get Martin Simmons vibes in here. I'm also getting vibes of the artist who is doing the Sandman universe with James Tynion right now. Lissandro Estarian, I think is the name of that person. I could be very wrong, but it's a really cool art style in here that I quite like a lot. I wish I could tell you more about the story. Don't read comics right before bed if you try to remember any information, because you won't. And for me, especially, you won't. But no, Mindset was fun. I'm glad I got this book. I really wish I had grabbed the Martin Simmons variants because I do so love Mr. Martin Simmons. But I'm a loser who didn't grab that one. Hey, speaking of Martin Simmons covers, this is him. This is Department of Truth number 19. Is this 20? 19. Is this out already? I feel like I already got this. I feel like I might already own this or the blank cover or something. I don't know. I'm not going to open it. I don't know if I've read this or not. Knowing me, I probably have or haven't. I'm going to strangle my little kitty to death on camera right now because she's annoying me. No, go away. Go away. Next book, Public Domain. This was cool. This one I remember a little better because I took time to read this in the shop today. We had a couple damaged copies sitting there on the table, so I felt okay. opening up a book that we could not sell anyway. The inside was fine. And I gave it a read on the clock because I'm that guy. I did not know Chip Zdarsky was drawing this as well. This is a fully, it's not fully Chip Zdarsky story. I believe somebody else does the colors. No. Okay. His name's the only name in here. Chip Zdarsky, a public domain. And then you got Alison O'Toole down here as the editor. That's an important job too, but this is a fully made by Chip Zdarsky. He's the artwork fits the style. I'll say that. He's got a I don't know, this almost feels like a web comic or like a strip. Like a comic strip in a newspaper. The art style here feels like subtly different. That could just be me. But it feels a little lo-fi, which I like, and I do not mean as an insult because Chip Zdarsky is pretty much God. So this was a really interesting book about a oh boy, how do you describe this? The main character is the son of a famous comic artist whose dad's superhero has been adapted into a successful movie franchise. And I think this book is going to go in the direction of who owns characters in comic books. There's a little bit of like Siegel and Schuster Superman influence in here. There's a little bit of Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby, kind of like artists not getting the full credit as writers, and even comic creators, writers, and artists not getting as much credit in the wider world as the movie versions of these characters do. There's a lot of funny meta kind of commentary in here, but it's Chip Zdarsky. He's a pretty surefire bet at this point. I knew I would like this comic. I went in intentionally kind of uninformed. I didn't know what this was about before I started reading it, and I think that helps. That helps a little bit. This was a cool book. If I was a bigger nerd, I would have already read it because this is one of Chip Zdarsky's Substack comics. Apparently, I'm only a big enough nerd to do James Tynan's Substack and not Chip Zdarsky's. But if I had the money and the time, I think I would jump on Chip's Substack second. Okay, next book, She-Hulk #4, which reminds me I am on another Substack. I am a paid subscriber to Jen Bartel's Substack. She does the covers for this run. I'm a big fan of Jen Bartel's artwork, so I do give her money every month, and I get a whole bunch of stuff on her website. So that's fun. I'm not reading this. I'm reading this comic. I have not read this issue though. Feels like it's been a while since She-Hulk came out. Was this book delayed? I'm feeling like extra foggy on what happened in the last issue, but when the covers look this good, it's hard to care. Like, I don't care. I almost don't even care about what's going on in the I don't love this book from what I remember. The first 3 issues were not what I was expecting. However, I will say I have never read She-Hulk before in any format, and I know that the sensational She-Hulk, the John Byrne stuff, is also different. It's not, it's not a normal comic book. So maybe if I was more familiar with that, I would be able to appreciate what's happening here more. And it is still early in the run. This is issue 4, so I have plenty of time to be impressed. And I'm not going to cancel it because I don't cancel books. And I can feel this next book, how thick it is. I know which one it is already. That is the Image Anthology. This is the 3rd issue out of 12 in here. This is going to be a beast to read, honestly, because of the way my brain works. I need to reread the last issue of every book in this stack before reading the current issue. And this series in particular, these issues are fat. They're big. This is a big book. And I don't relish the thought of reading issue 2 of this before issue 3. There are 12 different short stories in each of these issues, and that's a lot, especially when your brain is as useless as mine. And even in the space of one comic book, that many stories all at once, rapid fire, I'm going to struggle to remember the overall flow of what's going on in all of these different stories all throughout the course of the year that this whole title is going to be running. As much as I'm enjoying this experience with this book, I don't know if I could recommend reading it this way. I think there's a few cool stories in here that I would like to keep my eye out for in collected form later on down the road. Maybe they'll put some of these in a standalone trade paperbacks. That would be kind of cool, and I think some of these might hit better in that format. Let me open it up and check out the credits, because my first memory of this story or of this comic was that there were so it's a 12-issue series, and some of the titles in here are 12 issues long. So there's one part of each of those stories throughout the entire run. It looks like there's a one shot in here that is only in this issue. There's the ending of a 3-part story in this issue. There's a couple part 3 of 4s, but there's a lot, like half of this book is 12-issue series. So a lot of this stuff is going to be continuing. Ooh, I like that color. A lot of this stuff is going to be continuing through all 12 issues. And I was hoping for things that would end. And there is that. There's a little bit of that in here. I don't know. It wasn't exactly what I'm expecting. I'm rambling at this point. Cool idea, just not good for the memory impaired, like myself. Okay. That's about half of the stack. Still have this much to go. Let's get to it. First book on the second half. What is this? Detective Comics. Detective Comics at 1061. I think this is the final issue before Ron V takes over. I could be wrong. I don't know exactly when he starts writing this book, but it's got to be soon. I think it's whatever. I think it's next month. So I'm pretty sure this is the final issue from Mariko Tamaki. I could be very wrong. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I know the creative teams are switching gears here very soon. And if I had already read this book, I might be able to tell you whether or not this is the conclusion to the current story arc. It feels quick. Like, that's why I'm a little hesitant to say for sure, because I know the recent, it's a Riddler story that's happening right now in Detective Comics, and I don't feel like it's been going on for very long. 3 or 4 issues. It would be a quick story arc if this is the final one. So I'm not sure, but Ron V is about to take over writing Detective Comics, which is very exciting. As much as I have loved Mariko Tamaki's run on this book so far, Ron V is a very enticing writer, to say the least, to be tackling Detective Comics moving forward. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that one. This one is Action Comics 1044, right next to each other. I have not read this yet, even though I am very much enjoying Action Comics as well. This is the variant cover by Ian Churchill. I don't love it. He's got this weird kind of like robotic dead look in his eyes right there. That's not really doing it for me. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because the inside of this book is phenomenal. Federici. I see the name Federici. I'm going to crack it open and show you guys because I'm in love with the writer, Philip Kennedy Johnson, and the artist, Riccardo Federici. The two of them together do very good work. We have split artwork in here. Okay. Ooh. But no, this is another book that I recently talked about on our live show over on Comic Tom 101. Action Comics right now is doing a big war world gladiator kind of story that is very different and very cool. It's got this really just gorgeous artwork in here by Riccardo Federici that I don't think we don't deserve. We don't deserve this. On the inside of a monthly comic book. This is too good. That's not fair. I just want to keep looking. I can't get a good grip down there, apparently. I'm just going to enjoy this, and you guys don't get any. Just kidding. There you go. And like I said on that show with Tom, if you are one of the many, many people out there who don't care about Superman, who think he's lame, strongly recommend you give this current arc of Action Comics a try and see if that maybe doesn't change your mind. War World Revolution Part 2. So yeah, this is a big story arc kind of I feel like sells it short because, ooh, I don't know if I showed that one yet or not, but I'm going to show it. That's just cool. This is a big story arc. This has been going on for technically 8 issues so far, but basically since Philip Kennedy Johnson has taken over Action Comics, he's basically been building up to this story arc. So I say it's 8 issues, but it's really something more like 15 or something so far. It's all big. It's gonna be a big epic when it's all done, and it might be big enough for me to even justify getting on the shelf. Like I'm really, really enjoying this War World run on Action Comics. What's the furthest place from here? Issue number 7. This is I swear I read this, but this is the first part of the second story arc. I said it today in the shop. I think this might be like the best value in comics. Apart from, I do respect what Todd McFarlane and Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples are doing and pricing their books at $2.99. I still think that's like what comics should cost, you know? 4 is a little much, especially for how thin most comics are. But what's the furthest place from here is quite a bit thicker than a normal comic book. You just get a lot in this book. And I'm so glad I took the chance and read this, in spite of the fact that it is not on paper, on the surface. Yeah, I definitely have not read this, by the way. On the surface, this comic is not for me. Like, this would not be something I would like based on the synopsis and the description about a group of kids who live in a record store in a post-apocalyptic world who go on a quest to find their missing friend. I don't know why I took the chance on this. On paper, that description is lame and it's not for me, and it sounds terrible even when I describe it now. But there's something about the way that this is written and drawn and just the overall presentation and the package. It's a really cool book, and we got copies of the first trade in today at Mill Geek Comics that has the first 6 issues in it. It's a fat book for 6 issues, and I mean all 6 issues are, you know, big chunky boys like this one, so it makes sense that the trade would be pretty big. Give it a shot. I think it's a fun book, and I think more people need to be giving that one a try. There's not a lot of old people at our shop, at least, that are reading it, so I'm glad I am. That's all I'll say. I'm glad I took the chance on that one. Here is Swamp Thing 14. Who does this? Steve Beach and Dave Stewart. That's a cool variant cover. It's creepy. There's something coming out of his mouth, going into his mouth. There's some mouth stuff happening down there. This is almost done. The Swamp Thing has 2 more issues after this, and then I think it's going to wrap up for good. Ram V's run got extended from 10 issues to 16 because it was so good. Kind of hoping they wrap up. I don't know. It gets into my whole philosophy on like miniseries, maxi series versus ongoings. I love this book. I love this run on Swamp Thing, but it was promised as a limited series, and I hope it ends. I don't want them to extend this into an ongoing, and I don't think they are. I just don't want that. This is good, but it's extra good because, you know, it's limited, and this will end soon. Kind of sad, but it's been a lot of fun, and I think more than any other character, Swamp Thing is somebody I have not only made a concerted effort to learn more about. Like, I recently picked up all 3 of these guys over, you know, the course of this year so far. Swamp Thing is somebody I've been trying to learn more about, and also enjoying the hell out of my time making that journey. You know, Swamp Thing's a really cool character. There's been some fantastic stories written about him, creative teams. This one's no exception. I'm really liking this current Swamp Thing. Ram V, Mike Perkins, really good creative team, really cool run. It's hard to describe a great book that you love month over month without getting like boring and repetitive. It's good. It's like talking about Nightwing every month. Like, yeah, it's like one of the greatest books being printed. So like nothing new here, it's the same old stuff. That's Swamp Thing number 14. I'm going to move this closer to the wall because it is teetering. And this is all we have left. And thank the four of you for hanging out here with me still. Means a lot. This is Iron Man and Hellcat Annual. I went with the variant by Artgerm because it looks really cool. I'm glad I did. I like this cover. I'm not a big Artgerm person, but this is a cool cover. I was surprised with this book. From what I can remember, anyway, it doesn't read so much as it's called Iron Man and Hellcat Annual, but there is no comic called Iron Man and Hellcat. For all intents and purposes, this is an Iron Man story. It's written by the same writer who's doing Iron Man right now, Christopher Cantwell, and it is based off of the relationship that develops between Hellcat, Patsy Walker, and Tony Stark throughout the first part of the run, the Iron Man run so far. It's been up to like 19 or 20 issues right now, and they've been pretty consistently in it together. That being said, this is a Patsy Walker story. It's got Iron Man and Hellcat on the front, and Iron Man comes first, and has a little bit more of a trade dress that pops or whatever. But this is it's a Patsy story, man. She's pretty much all over this book. He's in it too, but I appreciated that perspective on it, since I'm just less familiar with Hellcat than I am with Iron Man, obviously. But it's a cool book. I feel like I'm one of the only people reading the Iron Man ongoing right now, so I don't know who I'm going to get to talk about this with, but it was a fun book. Since it's an annual, I don't know if I'm going to read it again, which means if you do want to talk about it with me, you better do it like today, because I'm already pretty much 100% forgotten on what the hell happened in this issue. But it was fun. Iron Man is a very complicated series on my pull list. It could very well be my least favorite book on my pull list, but it has shown strong glimmers of hope. And issue 18, or I think 20 is the current one, and issue 18 really took me by surprise and blew me away, and it made my honorable mentions list on whatever month that would be. I think April, maybe March. It was just a really cool issue of Iron Man, and the current arc has been a hit or miss, mostly miss. So I did not expect much from a one-shot annual. I only got it because I'm a weird completionist and I wanted to make sure I got the whole story and all that. But it was a fun little issue, and I'm glad I read it. What up, Biggie Shack? Broken Eye number 3 from Scout Comics. I don't remember this at all. I read issue 1 one time, and then I believe issues 1 and 2 are in a random pile over here for me to read that I never got around to last month whenever issue 2 came out. And now I've got number 3 to read too. So I can't even tell you what the hell this series was about. I think it's like a historical, political war story. It was good. I remember liking the first issue, but I can't remember what the hell happened in it. Read your comics. It's too easy to just forget that you pre-ordered stuff, and then 3 issues in and you don't know what the hell is happening. So I need to prioritize that before it's already completely left my brain. So I got to binge read all 3 issues of Broken Eye from Scout Comics. So no, that's not a thick one. That's 2 comics at once. Here we go. This is Obi-Wan number 2. I have not read this yet. First issue was not exactly what I was expecting. I haven't read this, like I said, so I don't know, but I got the vibe based off of issue 1 that this Obi-Wan series feels like it's going to be an anthology. Like each issue is a standalone reflection of old man Obi-Wan looking back on his past and his life and his adventures. So I'll be interested to see if I'm correct and this chapter is completely unrelated to what happened in issue 1, or if this is just going to continue the story that we got from there. I kind of hope not, because he was a little kid. He was remembering an event from his childhood in issue 1 of Obi-Wan. So I'm hoping we get at least a little bit of a time jump, because I don't want 5 issues of like little baby Obi-Wan. Next book, what is this? Captain America, Symbol of Truth, number 2. This is another one I forgot was on my list. There are two Captain America ongoing series going on right now, which I think is a mistake. As a fan of Captain America, I'm finding it hard to justify being on 2 separate Captain America ongoings at once. I don't think I can. Unless this issue blows my socks off, I think I'm going to be dropping this one. This one came out first. This is Captain America, Symbol of Truth, focused around the Falcon iteration of Captain America. But you'd be forgiven for not realizing that, because Deadpool is taking up all the freaking room on this cover. I'm not a fan of Deadpool. I'm not looking forward to reading this if he's going to be all throughout it. And especially because I quite liked the sister series, the other Captain America starring Steve Rogers. I liked that one a lot. So it won't be a difficult decision for me to scrap this one unless it's awesome, and then I'll just have to keep 2 Captain America books on my pull list. I don't really want to do that, you know? I could easily scrap another book. It's not a question of having too many things on my pull list. It's a question of, can my brain handle 2 different Captain America books? I don't think they can. I don't know. I don't see it. Berserker, number 9. Is this a 10-issue series or a 12-issue series? I can't remember, because Berserker just comes out whenever it feels like it seems like at this point. I want it to be done. That being said, Berserker has been growing on me almost with every single issue. I think I have loved each issue a little bit more than the one that came before it, which is a surprising relief. However, I really hate books that just come out inconsistently whenever they feel like it. It drives me nuts, and I hate not remembering what happened, which I guess is actually kind of fitting for this book, because he doesn't remember what the hell's happening in his life either. But I don't remember what I read anyway, so obviously I will be reading issue 8 of Berserker before jumping into number 9. I'm kind of glad. Thank you, Benito, for telling me it's a 12-issue series. They're not close enough to the ending here, from what I do remember in the last issue of this book. But again, it's just taken so long. I think this book has a cool pace to it. I think it would make a really fun, like, read all in one afternoon kind of story. But at the rate it's going now, it's kind of hard. And especially because it's such an action-heavy book, Berserker reads really fast. So by the time you open it up and start reading it, you're pretty much done and putting it back in the bag and board already. So it's cool. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I did. I'm glad I decided to subscribe to it, but I just want the last 3 issues to come out already and for it to be done. It's been a long time. There's a lot of people in here. I've noticed this trend with my live streams. It's like right when we get down to the very end, I don't know how many this is, 4 books left. Right at the very end is when people decide to jump on. So hello, thank you. Thanks for coming on. The Art Chemist with a K. Hello. Thanks for hanging out. Evan St. Wart. Reading 2 caps at a time is easy. He was always a square. Is that a joke? Is that an insult? Is that a pun? What's happening? I don't know. I like Captain America. I've got a soft spot for like Superman, Captain America, the Boy Scout type characters, but 2 Captain America ongoings, just a little too much for me. It's not because I don't like Sam Wilson or I don't like Falcon Cap, or Captain Falcon as I call him. I would be much happier if this was like a buddy cop book, and we had Captain America, either the Captain America title, dealing with both of them working together and, solving mysteries or doing whatever the hell they do, or if it was maybe something like what Venom is doing with Marvel, how it's dealing with 2 separate storylines in the same title, and it's kind of going back and forth. I think I would rather have that. It would be like having two different Venom books that I have to get just to keep track of the whole story, and I don't want that. Consolidate them, fools. Save the best for last, question mark. Well, they could be. I don't know what books these are because I put these face down and go through them randomly. So you guys are going through this as I am. I don't know what these are. Normally, the last books end up being kind of a dull whimper, a wet fart of a book. So we'll see how that goes, or at least my reaction. Thank you for noticing Chemist with a K. How could I not notice, man? I thought it said Kermit at first, but it says Chemist. Have you finished reading Sandman yet? No. Thoughts. No, I have not finished reading Sandman. Sandman, I learned the hard way, is difficult. It's a lot. It's dense. It's something I need to really focus on. And as much as I shouldn't binge read a book like Sandman, it's something I'm going to have to like read relatively quickly so I don't lose too much or forget. Sandman's tough. But the stuff I did read, I know I loved it enough to the point where I am strongly considering getting the absolutes for Sandman, although I think it's like 5. I think there's 5 of them. And that's just, that's a lot. And I've had bad luck with multi-volume absolutes. I bought the absolute Why the Last Man right here. Volume 1, this big guy, and I waited too long before looking into getting the second and third volumes because this is a long series. There's 3 of these big fat hardcovers, but the other ones are out of print. So now I need to go on like eBay or do some sort of real hard searching to find the last 2 volumes of Why the Last Man because I want to read this. I want to read this in this format, but I can't do it. I can't find it, or they're way too expensive, and I'll have to figure something out. But yeah, it is worth it with Sandman, and I know it's good enough to justify being owned and being read in this format. However, these are they're pretty expensive. They're super expensive, and it's hard to buy all of them at once, which is pretty much what I would have to do, because otherwise I would get too nervous that like they would go out of print after I bought 3 out of 5 of them or something. And they keep making more Sandman absolutes. There's like 5 of the main series, and there's one for Sandman Overture, and there's one for Death. There's just a whole bunch of absolute Sandman books, and it's a lot, and I really need to read it, especially before the show. I don't want to watch the show until I've like fully read the book. Ugh, what a mess. I got so much to read. And all these books that I've been going over this whole time, I've only read a couple of them. And I need to prioritize that before I prioritize reading older stuff, even though I really want to read Sandman. Biggie, I can't tell what you're saying. I just bought a House of Secrets 92 and only read one. Oh, House of Secrets 92 with Sandman looking through the window. Not Sandman, with Swamp Thing looking through the window at that lady brushing her hair or whatever she's doing on the cover of that book. Yeah. I think I see what you mean. After reading Sandman, check out the Lock and Key crossover. Yeah, there's just so much. That's another one I have to read too. I got the first one of these. Thankfully, these are nowhere near as expensive as an absolute. I'll show you. The deluxe Lock and Key hardcover that I have. I grabbed the first one of these and then never bought the future ones. I don't know how many of these there are. This was $50 cover price. I don't remember what I spent on it. But it's got the first 2 trades in here, which is pretty good. It's a nice quality product. I would like to get the full run. So yeah, before I read the Lock and Key Sandman crossover, I need to read all of Lock and Key and all of Sandman first. Like I got too much to do. I wish I never sold my first 12 issues of Sandman to pay bills, but I still have the trades and 2 omnis. Yeah, that's okay. I don't like reading stuff in this format. This is my least favorite way to read a comic. I've said it before. I would much rather read. Well, this is the best way. This is the absolute way to read a comic. I would still much prefer, just a hardcover or even a trade or digital. Something about the single issues just stresses me out and bugs me. So I don't blame you for selling them and reading them in a better, cheaper, easier format. But it does sting. I bet they're worth a little bit more now. Leatherbound, says Biggie Shack. I don't know if you're talking about Sandman or Lock and Key or what. Nothing I own is leatherbound, as far as I know. Okay, I'm going to get through my last 4 books. Ugh. I'm so glad this is done. This is Silver Surfer Rebirth, the final issue. This is, I believe, from last week. We didn't get our variant cover until this week, though, which is why mine was delayed. I've been getting the variants for this whole run. If you were here at the beginning of this video, I talked about Venom Lethal Protector, which is another miniseries that's going on right now. That and this are both very intentionally 90s, and I don't like that. If I had known that these were deliberate 90s throwbacks going in, I would not have ordered these in the first place. I do like this Silver Surfer story at least a solid notch or 2 more than the Venom Lethal Protector storyline. This at least is written pretty well, but it's just fluff. It's just 90s fluff that doesn't matter. And now that the 5 issues are done, it's useless. I'm just not a fan. Yeah, not a fan. Last 3 books. Sins of the Black Flamingo #1. I don't remember adding this. I do remember looking through the previews guide when this book was in there. And I remember, I think it had a preview of some of the inside pages. I remember looking at it and going like, pass. And then I waited a few weeks. And then I saw this book was on the final order cutoff, which I check every week to make sure. I would recommend you guys do that too. Check the final order cutoff every week because it is your last chance to pre-order a book. And apparently I made that last chance decision to pull the trigger on Sins of the Black Flamingo #1 over at Image. It's a 5-issue miniseries, so that's probably what sealed the deal for me. Whether I love this or hate this, it's 5 issues like the Silver Surfer book, and it will be done at some point. So if you do hate it, at least it's over and it's not an ongoing that you have to decide when you're gonna quit. But yeah, I completely forgot this book existed. I have no idea what it's about. I'm excited for that aspect. I love cracking into a story and having no concept of what's going on. I'm getting a little bit of a Pride vibe. It looks a little gay on the cover of this book, which is gonna be fun. I think this will be funny. We'll see. It could be very dark. I have no idea what goes on in there. Knowing me, if I bought it, it's probably got some sort of crime aspect to it on some level. We'll see. Darth Vader. This is number 24. Not the same variant I've been subscribed to this whole time. I've been subscribed to the Sprouse variants of Darth Vader this whole time, which have always had this like gold border and have shown a scene from some of the Star Wars movies on the cover in the past. But I guess they ran out of movies to use or something for those covers, because now that same artist is doing this set of variants. It's like a full character shot plus a lightsaber. It's like an action figure cover. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, but who cares? Darth Vader is the only Star Wars ongoing book that I am reading, although I don't know how long I'm going to keep up with it. I don't love the current stuff in this run as much as I did the first story arc or 2 of Darth Vader. I thought it started really cool. It had some good callbacks to the prequels, and it still does. It still does. As a child of the prequel era of Star Wars, that trilogy is close to my heart. So I do appreciate the throwbacks in this current storyline, but it's a little too lost. This not lost to the TV show. It's lost, like Lost in the Woods. It's Darth Vader 23. I remember reading it and feeling like, where are they? What's he doing? Why is he doing this? Like, motivations felt off. I don't know. I'm falling out of love with that comic in real time. Okay, I have 1 book left on this stack. I don't know what it is. And I can't guess. I was trying to guess for like a second, but I don't know what the hell it is. I get too many comics. I'm pretty sure I haven't read it. I haven't read a whole lot of the books in this pile. I'm just going to flip it. What is it? Pearl. Okay, see, this is why maybe I should look and pick a book I know and talk about last, because I have not read this. Although, I do know the art in here is going to be great, because Michael Gaydos did phenomenal work in the first run of Pearl back when Bendis and Gaydos were doing this over at DC. This was a beautiful comic, and it still is. Michael Gaydos is a really good artist. This is the same creative team that brought you Jessica Jones, because it says on the cover of every issue of Pearl, they don't hide it. Which, to be fair, I guess I wouldn't hide either if I was the creator of her. This book it has art that is very much my jam. I love the art in here, and there's a lot of organized crime, Yakuza stuff in this comic that I quite enjoyed. Well, there's some cool stuff in the back too. I didn't know. A little bit of preliminary stuff, some script samples, cover process work over here. It looks like. I dig it. It's just got this really cool, like, photorealistic kind of painted look to it. No, it is painted, but I don't know. I just love the style, man. And she's got this weird like skin condition, like an albino. I think it's a special kind of albinism that she's been tattooed with an empty tattoo gun. So you can't tell that she has tattoos until her emotions start running and like her blood gets pumping, and you can suddenly see the lines on her skin fill in. Such a cool idea. I don't know. She's just a really cool character. This has been a fun book, and I wanted to go back and read the first set of Pearl books. I think they did 10 issues before they brought this back. So this would be the 12th issue of Pearl, altogether. And I have the first 10 out in the other room. I need to reread the whole thing, but it's fine. You can also just jump in with this current story of Pearl. I would start with issue 1 instead of issue 2, but you could just jump in here and get yourself a very solid Japanese organized crime story, which I love. Whether or not you are a fan of, I hate even using this category, but like badass female protagonist, I feel like feels kind of cheap calling a book that, but that definitely applies here. Pearl is definitely a badass. She's cool, but more importantly than that, it's a very cool crime comic. My favorite. Actually, no, horror is my favorite, then crime. Not the typical art, at least not that I see anyhow. Yeah, for Pearl, Pearl's different, which I love. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Pearl, and I forgot how big of a fan I was until they came back and started, this. They call it the third arc. I guess it's the third story arc. Okay, whatever. Anyway, that's my stack. Ugh! Yeah, and it took about an hour, just like I promised at the beginning. Big stack. This is 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 27 comics altogether. It's a lot. I don't want to get this many comics every week. This is hard to read. This is hard to keep up with. So, like I said earlier in this video, I do like the idea of doing a full ranking of my entire pull list, and I don't know what goal I have with that. I guess look and see exactly, these are my S tier comics. This is the stuff I absolutely love, and then these are the stinkers. And, maybe I should just cut the stinkers and move on with my life. But either way, I think it would be a cool experiment. The idea has been lodged in my head for a couple of weeks now, and I would like to do that. So that's something. I guess I'll announce this. I don't know if it's been Tom dropped the news yesterday on his it's a Whatnot show that he did at our mail call headquarters yesterday, doing the mystery mail call. But I will be going to Denver this weekend. I'm going to Fan Expo, I believe it is, the Comic-Con that's happening in Denver this weekend with Tom and Heron Heavens. It'll be my first Comic-Con that I've gone to that's not here in the Seattle area. So I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to it. A little nervous. Haven't been on a plane in a while. But yeah, if you are going to Fan Expo this weekend, then come say hi. I'll be there. I'll be there with Tom. Probably won't get much free time to not be there with Tom. So it'll be interesting. I'm going there for work. This is my job now. It's my life now. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna hopefully get at least one cool Green Lantern book while I'm there. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm going to Comic-Con this weekend. So again, if you are in that area, come say hi. If not, then you suck. I don't know. I can't talk. It's late. But yeah, that's my news. Going to Denver this weekend. What else? Putting the mystery mail call together tomorrow. I believe it's getting picked up tomorrow. So if you are a subscriber to the mystery mail call, I apologize on behalf of the whole crew over here. There's been a big delay on our last exclusive that we were waiting for that did not show up until this week. So we are prepping everything and packing everything and scrambling over there. So they should be getting picked up by the post office tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. If all goes according to plan, you mystery mail call subscribers should get your box this weekend. Maybe it's usually pretty quick, right? Normally they get picked up on like a Saturday, and you guys are posting your unboxings like on that Monday or something. So yeah, if it gets picked up on Thursday, I would suggest like the weekend, maybe Monday if you live really far away, whatever. Now I'm officially just rambling way too much. And of course, there's 11 people here. You guys jumped in right at the end. So sorry to everybody who missed all of the great stuff that I did before. I went through my entire pull list, 27 books, 29 books. I don't remember how many. Too many comics, too many books. Ugh, it's a heavy stack. This was it. I got all of this week. And that's that. So I'm going to go. I'm going to read at least a couple more of these, and then I'm going to crash because I got to go back to work tomorrow and then fly to Denver. So you guys, you have a good rest of the night, and I will see you next week. Take it easy.